In this video, I'm going to discuss a topic in distribution management entitled Key Challenges for Logistics and the Supply Chain. There are many challenges faced by businesses in logistics and the supply chain, but I will limit the challenges into 10 only. First is reducing transportation costs. Second is improving business processes. Third is enhancing customer service. Fourth is improving supply chain visibility. Fifth is supply chain finance. Sixth is impact of the economy. Seventh is driver shortage. Eighth is government regulations. Ninth is sustainability. And 10th is technology advancements. The first challenge is reducing transportation costs. Since businesses are transporting goods or products from the point of production to the point of consumption, we cannot set aside the impact of transportation costs on these businesses, particularly dun sa net income ng mga businesses. Ano nga ba yung impact ng transportation cost sa net income ng business? Ang transportation cost is a cost, meaning to say expenditure or gastos. If it is an expenditure or gastos, then it will decrease the net income of the business. Remember that the primary purpose of establishing a business is to gain profit, meaning to say there should be an increase in net income. And businesses can increase their net income in two ways. Dalawa lang ang pwedeng gawin ng businesses para mag-increase ang kanilang net income. Unang-una, if all other things are held constant, there is an increase in net income if there is an increase in sales. Pag tumaas yung sales ng business, if all other things are held constant, tataas ang net income. Aside from increasing the sales of the business, pwede rin nilang gawin ito. Decrease in cost and expenses. If all other things are held constant, decrease in costs and expenses will result to an increase in net income. Pag bumaba yung costs and expenses natin at yung mga ibang factors ay constant, that means there is an increase in net income. That's why it is very important for businesses to reduce the transportation costs. Reducing transportation cost is the biggest challenge for the industry. Kasi nga, yung transportation cost ay about 30% of the total expenses of the businesses. Normally, transportation cost constitutes about 30% of total expenses. Normally yon. But with rising fuel prices, pwedeng tumaas yon up to 50%. Imagine, from 30%, tapos pag tumaas yung presyo ng fuel, aakyat siya up to 50%. That's why kailangan talagang i-reduce ng businesses yung kanilang transportation costs. Mayroong ginagawa ang mga businesses para ma-reduce yung transportation cost. Una dito ay yung pag-reduce ng carriers. Meaning to say, the businesses are using fewer carriers. Iilan lang ang kanilang carriers. Ang disadvantage ng paggamit ng fewer carriers ay yung risk of overdependency. There is an increase in the risk of overdependency. Meaning to say, very dependent yung mga businesses sa fewer carriers na kung minsan kapag sobrang dami ng orders, hindi na kayang i-deliver ng fewer carriers yung mga orders. Mainly because kulang ang carriers. Aside from reducing carriers, isa din sa kanilang ginagawa ay yung consolidating shipments. Consolidating means combining. For example, yung mga orders sa isang araw, ihahalo nila yan sa mga orders sa mga susunod na araw. Kung i-combine nila yung mga previous orders sa mga new orders, ibig sabihin nun, delayed na yung delivery ng previous orders. So, in consolidating shipments, the risk here is the risk of delayed delivery. And we know that delayed delivery would impact customer satisfaction. It will affect the customer satisfaction. Sasabihin ng customer, I delayed yung order ko, I am not satisfied. Aside from reducing carriers and consolidating shipments, isa din sa ginagawa ng businesses ay ang pag-reduce ng fuel expenses. Of course, ang mga businesses, hindi nila kayang i-control yung mga fuel prices. Yung presyo ng fuel, hindi nila kayang i-control. Kaya ang ginagawa na lang nila is they are controlling fuel expenses. Yung mga ibang businesses, meron silang ginagamit na software, and that is called as fleet management routing software. This can help to ensure that freight carriers apply on the shortest, most efficient routes, avoiding traffic congestions, taking into account road restrictions by vehicle type and time of day. Since yung mga freight carriers ay dadaan sa shortest route or most efficient route, there will be a reduction of the total miles driven. Aside from that, there is also a reduction of wear and tear and maintenance costs. Moreover, it also lowers violations and safety risks, which can result in reduced insurance premiums. The second challenge is improving business processes. Some businesses rely on 3PL partners to drive cost reductions and improve business processes. Ang ibig sabihin ng 3PL ay third-party logistics. This refers to the use of third party that will handle and manage part or all of their supply chain and distribution operations. Meaning to say, the 3PL provider will handle and manage the logistics operations of another business. The business will hand over the logistics operations to another business. Ang advantage kasi ng paggamit ng 3PL providers ay cost reductions. It will drive cost reductions. So it will minimize the cost, and at the same time, it will improve business processes. Kasi instead na mag-focus ka sa logistics operations, i-hand over mo na lang ito sa third party At si third party na ang magmamanage ng logistics operations. Meaning to say, makakapag-focus pa ang business sa ibang areas or functions. 3PL or third-party logistics is a form of outsourcing. And we know that any form of outsourcing has its downfalls. Although mas mataas yung benefit na makukuha natin sa paggamit ng 3PL kaysa sa negatives, meron pa ring downfalls with using the 3PL. First downfall is lack of communication. Medyo mahirap kasing makahanap ng third-party logistics company that will work together with a business on mutual goals. In order to maximize the efficiency of the logistics functions of a business, the goals of the business need to be set clearly. So when hiring a 3PL provider, make sure that the 3PL provider or 3PL company is great at communication. Essentially, parang partnership kasi ito. This is like a partnership between a business and a 3PL provider. And in a partnership, dapat both sides ay mag-collaborate. They should work together. Kung hindi sila mag-collaborate, they will both suffer devastating consequences. Second downfall is increased dependency. Ibibigay mo sa third party yung logistical tasks. So that means mag-enter ka into a commitment. You will have to take on a large commitment. At kung makikipag-commit ka sa isang third-party logistics provider, you will be handing over your logistics functions to them. So parang nagiging dependent ka sa third-party logistics provider. This increases your dependency on them. Pero ang kagandahan ng paggamit ng 3PL provider is that you will have time to focus on your core business goals. Another downfall is limited direct insights into logistical operations. You will be handing over your logistical operations to another business or a third party. Ang ibig sabihin nun, you won't have direct control kung ano man ang mangyayari. Of course, you can communicate and consult with your partners on a regular basis, but in reality, you don't have real oversight. The third challenge is enhancing customer service. It is very difficult for a business to enhance customer service. Bakit? Unang-una, markets are dynamic. Pangalawa, supply chains are becoming longer and complex. At pangatlo, customer expectations are changing. That's why it's very important for the businesses to recruit the right people with the right skills and attitude. Since businesses are transporting goods or products from the point of production to the point of consumption, napaka-vital yung role ng communication. Whether in-person interactions, phone, online chats, emails, or social media, dapat ma-enhance yung customer experience at ma-standardize yung customer experience.